It is November 13th, 2016, 9:17 in the morning. Today we're gonna go to the Guarantee Building by Louis Sullivan. Gotta get dressed and meet Brian at 10. Let's go. Alright, so it's currently 9:39 in the morning. We gotta go meet Brian, drive, and head to the Guarantee Building. Probably already said that, but who the hell cares? Let's go. Let's go. What's up, man?
What's going on?
We're recording right now.
Oh, doing all right.
There goes my hat. There goes my life. Do you know if Julie's here?
Yes.
Currently in Brian's car, about to head to the Guarantee Building. There's Brian. There's Julia. Alright.
I
Thank you.
We just wrapped up on getting shots of the Guarantee Building. How was it? Did you like it?
You got to go inside.
How about you?
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, good experience. Good job, Sullivan. Hello everyone, my name is Sherif Khairy, and today I'm here with Mr. Greg Delaney. How are you?
Great, how are you?
Great, great. So today we're gonna discuss one of your favorite architects, Louis Sullivan. Now, you've mentioned in class one of the things Louis Sullivan lives by is, of course, form follows function.
Mm-hmm.
So can you give us a little bit of a meaning behind that? What does that exactly mean?
Yeah, good question. So the quote "form follows function" is really a tenet, what becomes a tenet of modernism in the way we think about architecture for most of the 20th century. And it's actually kind of a misquote, because the real quote is that form ever follows function. And it was first published in 1896 in an article that Sullivan wrote on, it was entitled "The Tall Office Building Artistically Considered." And really, in that article, he was arguing that within every problem in architecture lies its solution. And so the problem of kind of reevaluating this new type of building, the tall office building, that the solution was embedded in the problem itself, in the kind of program and in the structural system at work, which was a new structural idea using a steel frame, a kind of grid of steel frame, and so columns and slab system, that then within that, really what Sullivan did was kind of extract the language out of the structural logic itself, and then really look to kind of function to answer other questions about the base of the building and its different role versus the middle of the building versus the top. And so all of the kind of components or kind of aspects of the language of the facade were really derived from the use itself, the use of the building, but also then just the inherent logic of the building. And so form following function, as really Sullivan argued so many things do in nature.
Yeah, we recently visited the Guarantee Building, and we've seen the ornament designs on the outside and the interior of the building, and it definitely adds like a lot of details to it. It makes it look nice, like appealing to the eyes. Like we were roaming around the building, even the ceilings, like every little bit of detail was added to the building, the interior and exterior. So definitely added a nice touch, made it look beautiful, seamless.
That's an interesting building for Sullivan, the Guarantee Building. It really is arguably the most important building of his career, and not just because it's so fabulous in its own right, but because the use of ornament there for Sullivan was so over the top. It's just completely saturated every single surface from interior to exterior. When actually, in another essay, Sullivan argues for really the abolition of ornament in architecture, but not the total abolition. It's the idea that architects should first learn how to design good buildings before they're able to use ornament. Because at the time, really, he saw architects as relying, too heavily on ornament as a crutch in architecture. That basically you throw on some ornament and it's a quick fix. Any building is kind of magically good. And so Sullivan said, well, if you can abstain from using ornament and learn how to design a good building first, then you can kind of fold back in the use of ornament. And so for Sullivan to, in the Guarantee Building, use ornament so extravagantly and in this way where it saturates every single surface, interior and exterior, it's really a very kind of pretentious building of his career, where he's kind of proving that he has mastered the art of good building so fabulously that he can now saturate every surface with ornament. So a really interesting moment if you look at what he writes about architecture and then what that building then must mean.
All right. And I have one more question for
Okay.
you. What is your favorite building that Sullivan has designed, and why?
That's always a hard question, no matter who we're talking about, because I love looking at, projects from early in these architects' careers, but, architects that became very famous for one reason or the other. And because they give you a bit of insight to where they're drawing inspiration from, and where these ideas start. And so, even though I think there are much better and more important buildings, I think the auditorium building is in some ways my favorite, just because there's this amazing kind of story if you look through the images of that, how that project progresses and on the design boards.
It's been redesigned multiple times.
Yeah, exactly. And so you really see these kind of you see this kind of amazing moment in Sullivan's career where things are shifting very quickly, and he's it's almost as if you're kind of have this view into his mind very directly, and you can tell how excited he is, I think, about architecture in that moment, and the way he is editing that project and redesigning it. So probably the auditorium building, for what it represents in his career, it's a fabulous building, but there are certainly more important buildings in terms of seeing his ideas through to a more fuller fruition. But yeah.
It's nice to see the architecture is being taken a lot more seriously now, and like you said, the buildings are here for future generations, and they'll last longer, making them nicer, more unique. So it was definitely great